Hey,
How's it going?
good. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm actually on the road and I'm trying to, I don't know if you noticed the stuff with the new Zoom link. I'm trying to make sure that that's working.
My company actually just had a switch off of Zoom, so I did notice something a little different. I wasn't sure if it was on my end or not. Um, okay.
Nope, yeah, you're good. I'm just checking with the other maintainers because I think Jesse was supposed to be here.
Are we talking about like joining through the CNCF kind of website thing?
Yep, yep.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think I had to do that. Was that not required before?
Yeah, it was a different Zoom. Hold on one second. There's a couple of people asking me.
Yep, that's fine.
While we're waiting, did anybody reach out to you about um, from the CNCF about interviewing you as an adopter?
I don't think so. If they did, maybe it got lost in an email. I get a lot of GitHub
Sure.
notification.
Did somebody from our side talk to you about it?
I've talked to Terrence before, and he
Okay.
had to fill out something, and I did that. So I actually have been waiting for somebody to reach out to me, but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah,
So
they just started that, so they probably haven't yet. I was just curious.
okay, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I am kind of on the lookout for when that happens. So hopefully I don't miss it. But yes, I'm aware.
We probably should just ping Facila, Joe, because I think she said she sent all them before the holidays.
Before the holidays, then
That's true, but late last week she sent me a list of people and was like, "Is this the right list of people?" So
Oh, did she?
yeah, so I question if she actually sent those before the break.
I know she sent some because James from Google asked me if it was legit. So
Okay.
I know he saw something, but okay. I guess I expect to see stuff in the Slack channel and I don't.
yeah, I can't really search my inbox for build packs because I'll just get a million emails, and it's hard for me to filter it. Um, so if they reached out, maybe they should just do it again, and I'll look a little bit more closely. Sorry if I missed it.
No, no worries. Yeah, we'll check with this.
Okay, cool. And I think when you were saying you changed the Zoom stuff, Joe, that's how it is with Paketo. So I was like, oh, this is normal. But now that you mentioned it's a change, I can see the difference now. Okay.
No, good. That's a good sign because I updated a bunch of links, so you probably just followed the right updated link.
Yeah, it just worked. I didn't have any problems.
Yeah, I think I left my Google Calendar out of date, and so I joined the other one first, kind of on accident.
The
But no one was over there but Terrence. So
Yeah, the calendar invite is owned by uh not Natalie. I'm sorry, I'm totally blanking on her name, but her old Broadcom account, Nancy. But her old Broadcom account. So I don't know if anybody can change that calendar invite.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's VMware, VMware Nancy, who actually works at Heroku now, which is hilarious. Um, but yeah, I uh, I don't think anyone can change that.
I have a question before, since we're kind of like having a moment of silence here. Um, are there like tracks to do talks at KubeCons where you don't have to submit and like have to compete with people's talks that are probably going to be harder to compete with?
Like
There's
kind of
no
like lightning
maintainer
talk kind
track.
of thing,
Yeah, I don't
or
know.
birds
Like,
of a feather.
yeah, I've never done this before, but like if I were to want to do a talk related to Paketo and build packs, there's another Paketo maintainer who's interested in doing talks, like, you know, like is there a way for us to kind of like be on some kind of schedule and people can sign up for talks, but maybe it's not like main event talks, you know?
I don't know of a forum for that at KubeCon. Partly just because it's one, so there's just so much going on. There's like what EU is 12,000 people or something, and NA is about 10,000 or so. So it's just a massive conference.
Okay.
And
You
they
guys
just
do
have
a
all
talk.
these tracks.
Did you do a talk at the last one?
I did not do the talk at the last one. The last one I did was a year ago in London. I did the Bill Pax Plasm talk with
I
David
think
Justice.
Joe and Joey did the last one, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But when you submit your talk, it's just like through the regular submission process, and do they just decide where they're going to put you in if they like your talk?
Well, you submit. I mean, Joe probably knows more about how it works on the back end, but they have tracks essentially of stuff they're looking for because I assume they get so many talks that
Yeah.
people submit to, and so then they get people volunteer for kind of the various tracks for like basically doing the reviews. And so it gets kind of sent to those group of people, and they review all the talks for that track.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's for the regular CFP, and then there's the maintainer track. So you're competing with a smaller pool. In fact, for maintainer track, I mean, I think it's, all but certain that our talk is going to get in, but I think we
Yeah,
did a really, really poor job of
I I think for the most part, as long as you're following the guidelines for the maintainer thing, and then I think it's gated by project level status kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
I think we have 100% hit rate on maintainer track talks, and I think my hit rate on normal CFPs like one in like 10 years or whatever, right? Like it's pretty, I feel like it's pretty competitive. Uh, I don't know how many Joe has gotten in, but I know he's gotten at least one in.
yeah,
Um,
only I think two. I think
yeah,
two
too.
in like 6 years and stuff.
Yeah. It's 6 years across like I think both EU and NA or something, right? As well.
And India for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, come up with my talk, rehearse it, and then just keep trying over and over again until they accept it.
Yeah, I think they like case studies. That would be my only
Yep.
uh advice.
Cool. All right, cool. Thanks for the info.
Yeah. All right, let's kick this off. Sign into the doc if you haven't already, which is everyone but me. I don't see any new faces. Broadcasting RFCs. There is inline build pack layers still in open needs steward. Joe, I don't know if you want to do anything about that still.
Um, yes, I think I was just going to close this. I haven't done that, but it doesn't need a steward. It's going to get closed.
Yep. Okay. Nothing ready for review and nothing in voting.
Wait,
TOC update regarding graduation.
are we not doing the inline build packs thing? Is that what you're saying?
No, that was a very specific feature for inline build packs that I was proposing, but it I don't think it's going to work out, so that's why I was going to end up closing it.
Okay, cool.
Inline build packs are absolutely real. That was just an enhancement.
Got it.
Any graduation updates? I know, Joe, you've been looking for reviews. I hope you've gotten some of that. I haven't been.
Yeah,
I've been
we
slammed, but hopefully you're doing
no, I
okay.
think we're in really good shape. I responded, I think, to all the comments. So there was an initial review um by Kevin Dubois. I'm not sure what his role in the CNCF is, but he's
I,
one of
I
our
think it's just
reviewers.
one of the tag people that got
Yeah.
assigned.
But he left a bunch of comments. I responded to the most of, I believe all of them have a response.
Yeah,
So
I did respond right before this meeting to the 1.0 um on top of your comment. Um I think I
yeah,
said
that was good.
basically, yeah, like 1 point, like I felt like I think he cared less about 1.0 and more about stability, or at least that's kind of how I read the question.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he was making a big presumption about that, so I kind of focused on that and less of the 1.0 thing. And I actually did some Googling, and there's a non-small number of projects who are graduated that did not hit 1.0 when they, got their graduation status. So I don't think it will be a blocker for that. But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
rightfully so, I do think they are looking for stability. So I wanted to move the conversation in that direction.
Nice.
Um, but I kind of said like you should ask the end users that you're interviewing in the TOC, and I think they'll tell you that it is stable, like the API. Um, was kind of the like, you don't have to take my word for it. Like, please go ask the people who are actually using us in production. Yeah.
Awesome. Um, there's nothing else on the agenda. Is there any other updates, questions, talking points that people want to hit? I know we already talked about KubeCon a little bit for the submission advice. Anything else?
Saw that Ed finally put a comment in the RFC for rebasing build pack layers. And
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it kind of sounds like it's not something he really wants, but it's not necessarily going to block us from moving forward. That's kind of what I'm reading from it. So, he doesn't have to use it if he doesn't want to. That's
Yep.
what I'm kind of interpreting from it.
Okay.
Is this Heroku Ed? Ed Morley?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read his comment. I saw the email come through that he had replied, but I haven't read the comment yet. Haven't had time. Um,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I take it this is still something you're very interested in pushing forward on. Is that right?
It is, yeah. I mean, like I've been working on another project internally, so I haven't been joining these calls, obviously, but I do want to help move this forward. Um, I mean, like I think we're going to want to do another one for dealing with rebasing the life cycle uh, launcher, but one thing at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if I remember right, I talked with Ed kind of async at some point, and I think a lot of his concern was like, how does this work for like people who aren't on a platform? Like if you're just using GitHub Actions or your local pack, like how you know, do they benefit from this feature? And it kind of sounds like no, right? Because the platform kind of has to do it. I mean, Pack could presumably build a registry of rebasable build pack layers somewhere, but that's going to be a Pack specific registry of things that get patched, I guess, which kind of puts things in a weird spot. But
Yeah, I mean, I was curious. I mean, I haven't talked to Ed at all, but like, I don't know if rebasing is something that Roku users currently want, use, care about. Um, I don't know if you guys know.
yeah, I mean, I think it's something I'm interested in, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what that looks like. It is something that we have teams that are interested in doing that. For cases that are similar
Does
to yours. It's less about languages, but more about like we're shipping a binary that we would like to replace wholesale on every customer that's using it
Mm.
without having interaction. And I think that's something that, because we control the base layer and because we control the binary of the build pack that's putting it there, we have a pretty good idea of how to do that safely. But it doesn't really intersect with like customers who are using Heroku's build packs elsewhere, I
Okay,
don't think. And I think that's
gotcha.
probably part of where the tension is a little bit here. We're like, how this this is probably only going to hit the big corporate users of bill packs. Like, I don't really know how to make this approachable from like a an end user who's just a walker at KubeCon, you know.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about partly is it's because we just had a Hack Week demo yesterday and Joey was doing his artifact. Joey Brown did the artifact hub kind of CNB thing yesterday, 'cause that's what we spent his Hack Week working on. And I do wonder, like, not that it has to be part of this particular RFC, but I do wonder, does Artifact Hub and having kind of an easy way to have OCI artifacts be in a registry of some sort make this easier for something like Pack? Like you can even imagine for a big company too, like maybe Artifact Hub is a registry where you have a platform and we have just like a new artifact type there that is a rebaseable layer or something. And
Mm.
therefore, like Pack would just kind of conform to
Can
that
search it.
interface.
Yeah.
Does that sound like obviously I'm hand waving a lot here, but like
Yeah.
I feel
It'd be
like
worth having that discussion with Joey. I should tag him in that RFC and see like,
um
yeah.
because I think one of the things that makes it awkward right now when you think about non like if you are a platform kind of thing as a like if your company is operating build pack lifecycle and you are a platform, one of the you have a lot of control of like what you want that experience to look like for your end users and how you want to operate that. And there is a little bit of like, well, it doesn't really matter as long as it kind of works in the spec. Like you can then orchestrate how the platform's going to deal with it, which is kind of, I think, it's like exercise left to the end user a little bit there. And I think what Artifact Hub brings to the table is a way for us to register new types of artifacts essentially in a more standardized way. But since we don't have, I think, that today, it makes that conversation kind of like exercise to the platform maintainer. And obviously for Pack, it's like super generic, right? But I do wonder if, for instance, once we do the artifact hub thing, if we make a new type, then we all could conform to that thing, and then Pack could kind of fit in there. So like if I'm building a build pack, even if it's for Heroku, but generically anyone using it, like I think the common example I've given has been like imagine like a thing that just installs a binary like a proxy, where we don't want this to be like a system package on the base image, but we just want to kind of shove it in and put it in front of apps. And so that build pack is pretty simple. It should be pretty simple to update. And like I feel like because I know it is independent of everything else, like for baseball layers, as long as I can make ABI compatibility and other guarantees around the interface to it that it's not going to break or change. If I'm like, for instance, like it's written in Go. So it's like the lifecycle thing you're talking about, Jericho. It's like I want to make
Mhm.
sure that I can update this and you don't have to do a rebuild, right? But like it's like exactly that use case. It's like okay, then I like this is the exact thing that makes it really easy. And then any consumer of my build pack should be able to get that. And I should be able to provide it in a way that like Pack could take advantage of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it should be like got vulns, just run pack rebase and it will take care of them for you. It should just be that simple. I assume that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
exactly.
vulns
It's
and do
like,
that.
oh, I literally did it's like the life cycle Go rebuild thing. It's like, yep, I'm just rebuilding the binary with the new version of
Yeah,
Go.
to your point, like if we kind of maybe think about this layer patches being a lookup to Artifactory or to an artifact that lives in a registry, regardless of Artifactory or not. Like maybe this layer patches file could be, there could be a community version of this that if Heroku itself wanted to have a community version of the patches file that basically lives somewhere that when Pack does a rebase, it knows that it's on Heroku and it can go find from metadata of the builder that this patches file lives in Artifactory, and then that is like a, mutated
I think
um,
you mean Artifact Hub and not
Artifact
Artifactory.
Hub. Sorry, not Artifactory. Yeah,
Yeah.
Artifact Hub.
Artifactory is a very
Sorry, complete.
different thing.
It's yeah, different thing. But yeah, so I'm wondering, yeah, is that kind of what you're thinking? Where like because
Yeah,
it knows
exactly.
that as a
Yeah.
builder, it can kind of by default find it if there's one published there for the community.
Yeah, like I'm not super familiar with Artifact Hub, but I assume you can have metadata and other things. It is it's an OCI artifact, right? Like so
Yeah.
like you could probably even have like some of the metadata in there that's like, oh, let me go check Artifact Hub for these kind of rebaseable layers, and let me find ones that are associated with this build pack. Um, and then once pack or whatever the platform has the list, it could then be like, okay, well, it's on this version. Like I now know I can upgrade to like this particular, you know, version that's higher than that or whatever, right?
So the only hesitation, not that it's a problem, the only hesitation I have is like, so for someone who's not doing stuff with artifact, like if they're doing stuff with in an air gapped environment, or you're only allowed to pull from external internal registries or even artifactory, like Jesse just said. Um, like basically, like we should still support the exact thing that's described in this RFC so that people can kind of accomplish this goal without the need to,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
run
yeah.
anything external.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, like the
I,
part of the problem is that I don't really know what the best way to scale this thing out is, and it's like this kind of approach doesn't. You don't have to think about that right now. You just
yeah. Yeah, I
it
just
just
don't
makes
want to close the door. That's the thing that's important for the RFC is I want to make sure that like there is a way that we could conceivably make Pack do this for users who don't know anything about, Artifact Hub or anything like that. That you could have
yeah,
a Pack rebase dash dash, safe upgrades or something like that, right? Like I want to make sure that door is at least open and not
yep,
like so complicated that like you couldn't imagine a builder publishing a single file somewhere that like Pack could consume. That is, yeah. So I think that's the main thing. But I do get your point of like this is simple enough and the inputs are very raw, which means that you could do something now without having to think too hard about how to scale it to like every single use case, which I think is good.
yeah. Okay, cool.
Uh, would Paketo is Paketo interested in rebaseable layers publicly? Like not on a per platform basis where I'm building my own distribution of Paketo, but like I as the Paketo project have build packs that would have rebaseable layers, like maybe the static web app build pack or something if you're bundling Nginx or something in there. Or
That's a good question. I think that users would like it. I'm not sure that anyone has asked for it, but we get people asking us to patch things so that they can go and rebuild their apps and deal with vulnerabilities. Um, if we had a simpler way to do it, I think that we would adopt it and start using it. I mean, like I'm like I as a maintainer, yes, publicly Paketo likes it, and I think Daniel Makusa had a lot of reservations about making sure that people couldn't just inject layers that we didn't that weren't safe. So like
yeah,
the concerns about what's the word? Not traceability, but attestation, like where your images are coming from. So I think the answer is yes. We are interested in this publicly. And that's the thing. It's like we don't really know like if as an author we have to go and start publishing something to a registry, that's fine. We just need to know what the ultimate design is going to be. But like because we don't know that, and I honestly I don't think we could really know the best design until we start doing it this way for a while. And then you're like, okay, cool. I I've had to do this 1,000 times. Maybe this is the right way to do them. Something like I just worry that when you come up with a solution from the beginning, sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot or you lock yourself into
Yeah.
something that's not great. So,
Let me ask you whether you would be okay with this being a life cycle only experimental feature. Because you
um,
mentioned that you kind of don't know what you don't know until you try it. And so I'm wondering if like the RFCs maybe a little early to be finalized. And I wonder if I can do, an experimental, if we can do an experimental version of this in lifecycle and like have no pack support because it sounds like you're not really targeting necessarily like external users who are using pack right now, right? Like in this case, it would be for like a internal Paketo based platform.
no, this would be for people who are using Pack.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I see.
like so, we use like Rapid7 uses build packs, and we just use Pack to build,
Okay.
and then we use
Okay.
Pack rebase. But if you're trying to like, if you want to make this somehow an experimental thing, like I'm open to however you want to go about moving it forward. Um, but like ultimately, it would just be like I think the goal is like we want this rebase story to be complete. Like right now, the rebase story, when I talk to end users, I'm like, you can rebase, but I don't want to say but. No, I don't want any caveats. I want to say you can rebase, and if you can't rebase, it's because you have to go and change your app code or update your dependencies. So like that's the ultimate goal for me for this RFC. But I know you're not going to cover everything in this one RFC.
I mean, we could rescope the RFC to be when we merge it in is just to get experimental support and across both lifecycle and pack. Uh,
Yeah. It
and
just seems like one of these things that like, I don't know if we're ready to commit to it like long term, you know? I mean, I think I am, but I also haven't given it enough time or, really and we haven't had hands on. So to your point, I don't really know how this is going to feel in the hands of operators.
Yeah. Like if you were to do a lifecycle only implementation, does that mean I have to implement Pack basically myself?
No, I mean, I think if Pack is part of kind of you as one of our users that I would want to use this to give us feedback, I think it's important that we would, hit your use case. So I think Pack would also be experimental. So I think it would need to land experimental in both Pack and Lifecycle, which is fine. I was just trying to figure out whether I need to rip the Pack versions of this out of the RFC. But if your ultimate goal is to test it in Pack every day, then I think we should make sure that's part of the RFC.
Okay, cool.
yeah, I mean, I think you could just have experimental something to turn it on in both pack and lifecycle. And then like maybe we even like for all we know from kind of even what you're saying, it sounds like maybe the file might like maybe it works, but we would actually from practice want to change the format of the file or whatever, right?
Yeah, without keeping backwards compatibility. Like that's
Yeah.
that's the caveat here, right? Like if it is experimental and you're like, this works great, but we need these extra fields and this field is never great, then I'm just gonna yoink it out of there and like not worry about backwards compatibility because that saves significant time and like annoyances on like the development process, right?
I
Yeah.
don't know how that sits with you, Jericho, as the main user who one of the two main people who want this
Yeah. I mean,
outside of Heroku and I feel like Rapid7 are the two places that are pushing for it. So
yeah. I mean, I think that if you start, like, I could see a really good talk about this feature once it's implemented. But I don't know. Maybe people will be like, that's what I expected in the first place. But yeah, when you say backward compatibility, I mean, are we talking about like backward compatibility for what? Like, are we talking about this new feature or something else?
Yeah,
yeah,
this is
this
just a new
feature.
feature. Yeah, if you came back to us and were like, it works great, but patch image needs to have architecture and OS added to it somewhere here in this file. Like we're just gonna add it and expect it to be there and like
Yeah,
not deal with like, dealing with old metadata version 1.0 and 1.1. Like, that's part of being experimental is not having to think too hard about those like metadata file changes and stuff.
yeah. Sorry. So the answer is like totally fine to have. There's no need to maintain backward compatibility. Like if we're kind of iterating on this till we get to something that everyone's happy with, that's fine. Um, I
Okay.
mean, like if you get an experimental thing working and it's in production for a little bit, if you will, you just don't have to change it. And then if you have to change it, then you go and test it and then update it. Um, but anyhow, yeah, I
Okay.
mean, like I'm open to however you want to move forward with this to actually
All right.
accomplish whatever we're trying to do.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll write that down as like potentially retarget the RFC to
Yeah,
experimental.
I would like to get Joey's, since he's kind of the Artifact
Yeah.
Hub expert, because there might be a thing where even if you don't want a dependency on Artifact Hub, maybe we do want to align some metadata, something. Uh, so the formats are the same, whether you're like providing the file in some object store versus getting it from Artifact Hub. That way, Lifecycle doesn't have to know how to have two different file formats. But maybe that's like not a thing either, right? So, um,
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we do rebase today, we do a dash F, I'm pretty sure, because like the
Yeah.
images we're pulling from are in a different registry than the one we build or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, we end up rewriting some files to make that like anyway. Yeah, we do some stuff so that we don't have to do force, but we've also done force in the past. It's a little too strict in my opinion, but
yeah. So I'm just saying, like, we'll probably end up doing dash F anyway. It's not like for us, it's not really a problem to do F dash F, but we
Well,
could,
you control the entire stack, so it's
yeah,
not, yeah.
yeah. I mean, if we were doing something from external, I think I would think about it, but yeah.
yeah. Okay. Well, things have been super busy here, but I will try to get some time to retarget this RFC after talking with Joey about Artifact Hub and see whether there's any any stuff that we should put in there as like potential target for the experimental, automatic community stuff that would maybe ease some of the concerns, but also not make it entirely difficult for bill pack owners across non even like Heroku and Paketo, right? Like someone who just has an Nginx bill pack, like can they publish patches safely and securely somewhere so that pack users can, if they want, be like include community updates or something like that, right? Include
Yeah.
patches by the same person who published the build pack that you have or something like that. Like there's some security and stuff that we got to think about there.
Yeah. Um, yeah, definitely as we kind of explore that, and it doesn't have to be for this, but this particular version of this RFC, but maybe for the non-experimental down the line, definitely curious how Paketo feels about it. Or if Paketo has particular build packs that they would want community published patches for. Like maybe it is this just the static web app or any of the like compiled Go binaries you all maintain
Yeah. No,
that you're pushing in images and stuff.
Yeah, like I
I
don't think
think
our
the other
main concern
stuff
is
would
publishing
be
anything.
exactly what Daniel Makusa is worried about of like, I don't think you want to publish stuff that you think is not safe for
yeah.
people to be rebasing against.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, I think for us it would basically be those sort of things like an Nginx build pack or something like that. Like it's probably never going to be Go or .NET or anything like that. Like we would just
Yeah.
assume you rebuild for those sort of things.
Yep. Agreed. Um, all right. I'm gonna have to drop in a minute, so
All right.
probably a good time to wrap up, at least for me. I will. I found the email from Facila. I will respond to that so that you guys are not blocked by me on the graduation stuff. So yeah, good
Thank you.
productive call.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem.
And thanks for bringing this RFC back.
Yeah. Well, thanks for chatting about it. I think we made some progress here, kind of at least thinking about moving forward. So I'll take
Exactly. Yeah.
it.
Yeah. After the holiday, this is all you can expect, really, is everyone just slowly getting back into it. So
Yep.
we'll do our
Yep.
best to push it forward here a bit.
Sounds good.
All right.
All
All
right.
right, guys. See you on the next one.
Catch y'all later.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Cool. All
All
right.
right. We'll see you later too.
Yep. See ya.